This good cake right now.
Oh, I wish I had some cake.
I wish you had some of it.
I'll send you a picture.
Yeah.
Periscope.
It's okay, I'll eat
no
another piece of
I
cake
got no
for you.
followers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, baby.
All right, love y'all.
Hi, Emily.
Cake tastes good.
Thank you. Made that
I love you.
You had it this morning?
Have you been out in the snow yet?
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to snow like crazy tomorrow.
Is it? Okay.
I'm the only one eating.
All right, I love you.
Oh, Grandma, you've had enough.
Bye.
Keep going.
Lone amigo.
100 and... How old are you today, Grandma? How old are you?
How old am
Yeah. Do you know?
I? I'm 101.
Yes.
That's it.
Plus a few hours.
101.
No, I left tomorrow.
Somebody
Tomorrow, actually.
just. This is. I'm broadcasting around the world, and somebody just said you're so cute, and they said happy birthday, beautiful. That's what they said to you.
Wow.
His name's. I don't know what the name was.
Let's find out her secret. To this fountain of youth.
I know. Tell us something about your childhood, Grandma.
My childhood,
Mm-hmm.
I was reared on a farm.
Raised on a farm.
I know what it was to ride bucking horses as I grew up. I mowed hay and plowed corn, did everything on the farm because my parents just had 5 girls. And we had to help on the farm. So I know all about it. And then when I finally married a minister and I learned what it was to live in the city. And that was a different lifestyle, but I enjoyed both of them. So
Oh, hey. Sorry. I'll put it back on Grandma.
Yeah, flip it.
I don't know what I did.
oh,
People are watching you.
well, we had one son, and he was, according to what they all said, he sure was a talented young man. They said he could sing, he could play music, and he was a good speaker, and they just went on and on about him. And they wanted us to let him come to New York and be in some kind of a deal.
Yeah.
We didn't want him to leave, you know. So he stayed there, and he got married, and his first wife died right away. His son, Gordon, saw his mother, but he can't remember her because he died
Yeah.
too young.
So how long were you married to the minister?
To
How
what-
long was you married to your husband, who was a pastor?
Well,
You remember?
let's see. See me like we got married in 1937 or
1937.
yeah. Was that long enough?
I think so.
What I meant, we got married. You know, I was born in 1915.
1915.
And we got married in 1937.
So that's 6 years before
Was that?
Alfred was born.
Oh, I should have gone over all that.
No, it's all good.
There's nobody fact checking on this.
Yeah.
Don't worry
about it.
So were they married 6 years before they had?
We had one
By
son.
her math.
Someone said you're so
We had 4
adorable.
grandsons.
Yeah.
And there, let's see, 2 or 3 of them are here today.
So there's one grandson.
Hold on.
Here's 2,
2 of them
and the other 2 are
In Austin.
indisposed. Yes.
2 of them down around Cedar Creek, Texas.
Yeah.
And they would have loved being here too.
Yeah. They couldn't come.
Yeah, but they can't always do what they want to. Sometimes your work hinders you.
Well, what's the first president you remember growing up?
Lincoln.
Oh, let me see. I didn't think about them enough.
George-
Didn't
oh,
have
George.
time.
The first president you remember. What's the first president you voted for? Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
It would have been in 36.
So you was born in 15. Well, of course, you couldn't vote when women couldn't vote when you were 18, could you?
No, we couldn't vote till we were, I guess, 18 then.
Well, when did you have a right to vote? Do you remember women's suffrage? I mean, could you vote as a young girl for president?
Well, I didn't vote until we got married.
Until you got married? And you remember the first president? You don't remember the first president you voted for?
Oh,
You got a nice piece of cake there. What do you remember about the Great Depression?
I can't even remember the
I've forgotten everything eating this good cake. Well, we lived so busy all the time, I didn't have time to call in memories, seemed like.
Well, you had things to do. Cows to milk, huh?
But it was usually my pastor was my husband. I mean, my husband was my pastor all the time.
Well, that's.
He was my husband and pastor.
Was he your pastor before he was your husband?
What?
Was he your pastor before he was your husband? Or was he your husband before he was your pastor?
He was a pastor, a minister.
Someone said you were a very hard worker. Yep. Working on the farm. Well, cool. Well, it's cool. Everybody out there in the world's getting to know you.
It's the Baptist Church, Pleasant Grove Baptist Church. I thought, that's him. You know, it just seemed like it. And he said he felt that way about me.
That's right.
He sat down by me, came up to the front, and his hand got over by mine. Accident, you know. Oh, I don't tell
He's
him.
creeping.
You're talking, huh? You're the one telling the story.
No, it's actually going out.
Can you go back and watch?
I don't know.
But
I don't know. Well, that's good.
we
Good
didn't-
memories.
We didn't get to date like you do now, because he was a minister and he was pastoring and he was going everywhere, and I had my job at home playing the piano and teaching and all that kind of thing. So we were both busy. We didn't get to, when we came, he came on the farm, of course, and he knew what to do, and he helped out. Because he lived on a farm too.
So that was the first date y'all went to the farm on? What was your first date? Where'd you go on your first date?
On our first date was
At church.
he came to our house.
Oh, church. That was.
Hung around there,
Safe place.
you know.
Simple.
Oh,
And but our first real date, just to us, my goodness, we didn't get to do much of that. He was it was usually when he came to preach, because he was pastoring or doing something and he had to preach on Sunday. So we didn't get to date like everybody else did.
He was teaching school, wasn't he?
Huh?
Wasn't he teaching school?
Yeah. And I was ready to teach, and then they had one building, and from 1 to 5, and then 5 to wherever. And he was teaching, and I got the lower part for my first school, and I played the piano. I taught piano too. And anyway, this is something. He went to St. Louis, Missouri. They called him as pastor right off. So I didn't get to teach my first school. And we moved to St. Louis, and I was a pastor's wife right off.
So where did you live right at first when you got married? Where did you live?
Well, when we got married, they fixed us up 2 rooms in the attic of the church.
Oh.
And we lived up there. And the bathroom was down in the basement. Upstairs, the main room, the bathroom down in the basement.
boy, it made it tough when you had to go at night, huh?
Well, you know, it got buckets and things. You're making me tell it all.
buckets in. Well, I mean, it's about time. You're 101.
What?
I said you're 101. You can get it out all on the table.
Well, I started from the beginning. And I went through all of it. Lived on a farm, and then it's something else to move to St. Louis as a pastor's wife. But we made it fine.
You made it good.
I just picked up a card there at the house the other day, and it said on it, it had Bethany Baptist Church still loves Mrs. C.A. Darst.
Oh,
And they kind of got, they got upset because he resigned a little too soon, and they said they're going to do that again. And I don't know, we have some preachers here, but one man, he told me, he said, I really got mad at Brother Darst because he prayed and he said Louise died anyway. They wanted him to, he wanted him to pray for his wife, but she died. And he said, the Lord didn't answer your prayer. And he says, well, I had to say, if it's your will, Lord, spare her life. I couldn't just say, you spare her life. And had a time convincing him of all of that.
Tell them about the first car you ever saw.
Huh?
Tell them about the first car you ever saw. Your first car.
First car I ever saw?
Yeah. When your dad came home with a car.
Oh, yeah. And my mother, boy, she got upset. She said, what you're fixing to do is to kill those girls. But he didn't kill them.
Did she ride with you the first Sunday?
Huh?
Did she ride with you the first Sunday?
No. She finally convinced us we could.
She walked,
we
didn't
could
she?
do it.
She
Yeah.
walked that Sunday.
Yeah.
She didn't have much confidence, did she?
But we didn't have to get license or anything. We just got in and drove. That's the way I learned. We just got in and drove it.
That's the way
no
I-
license.
That's the way I learned too.
No balls in the house.
I thought I did okay.
I think you did real good.
You're not.
Well, you gonna have another piece of cake?
What?
You gonna have another piece of cake?
Are you gonna have another piece of cake?
Oh. I won't now.
Okay.
All
Get
right.
this one eaten.
All right. Well, wave at the people out here. That you were talking to people all over the place.
Wave them. Say bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
I shouldn't have been eating. It won't sound very good.
That's okay.
Sounds good. All right. Adios. Bye from England. Somebody said somebody was watching you from England.
Cheerio.
Wow.
So they were I was doing this live, Grandma, and someone in England was listening to you.
Do you know who it was?
Well, and she said, her name is, I don't know. Let me see, what's her name? What's your name?
Edith Parkin.
No, her name's Jessica.
Well, I knew some Jessicas.
You knew some Jessicas? All right. Say bye, Jessica. That's pretty cool.